welcome back. So this is a continuation of last week's lesson on I taught infinitives, but I also wanted to teach the homophones 2, 2, and 2. Now, my workbook 2 is for 5th grade and older, and 5th graders have already been taught infinitives, but the student I was working with is going into 4th grade, so she hadn't learned it. So I taught her infinitives, which is a precursor to this lesson of homophones. So I'm going to start sharing my screen right away. And if you have difficulties with a student not having their workbook, you can always do these and annotate, because I give you my digital files and the annotate tools are in the upper corner if you share your screen with your student and let them be a co-host. We figured that out. And then other than that, let your student work in the workbook if you're on Zoom or if you're working face-to-face. Now, you'll recall this sheet. Sorry, I kind of crumpled it up. I crumpled the wrong paper up. This is what I want the student to remember, that we did all this work. We learned the present tense, the future, the past tense of a word, the future tense, and we saw how the infinitive often matches the present tense for regular verbs. And there are some exceptions where to be, the present tense was am. And anyway, once in a while you'll see an irregular verb, but we're going to look at the verbs here first, because we're going to go right directly into the infinitives. What I wanted to remind you is make a little note that green will be TWO. Think of money, think of the number for a clock. And then red, red will be TOO, too hot, too heavy, too late, something that's extreme, or also. And then blue is going to be for TO, which is just the infinitive or the adverb, all right? So anyway, I'm going to start with the infinitive. So I'm going to find my verbs. To get, to eat, to hurry. Here's to get. Here's too hot or to cook. We have to see, to help, to give. Here we have to be. Look at that. It totally matches this sheet because that's where I got them from. So, and on the next page, we have to teach, to give, to grow. All right. So the word to is going to go in front of all these, on all these other lines, but it's not the infinitive. And if it's an adverb, we're going to discover that in 1 minute. So first, I'm going to have my student put the word to on all the lines where it's an infinitive. To get, to get. Oh, they're going to feel so smart. To get, to hurry, to see, to help, to give. And here's another one. And if you want this workbook, I'll sell it to you. Just give me a email or message me. Here we go. To be, to teach, to give, and to grow. Now, the cool thing here is half the work's done. Isn't that amazing? So half that worksheet is exciting because it's done. So next I'm going to look at what are some of the other uses of the word to. So I have some directions in here that to is used for an infinitive. That's what we just did with another verb. It's also used if you're going somewhere, like I'm going to the store. I'm going to school. That is when it's an adverb. Then we have the number 2, 2 o'clock or 2 pounds of rice. And I said we're going to indicate the number with green. And then too much. There's an extra O because it's too heavy. Also, it can mean also. I want to go too. I want to go also. So let's read our little story and see which one would go in here. She went to the theater. That would be the adverb. To the theater. To get 2 tickets. Look at that. There's a noun, okay? So we're going to right away say, let's just work on our nouns. Are there any other nouns in here? Because we want the nouns, if there's something that's going to have a number, like people or something like that, we're going to put TOO, TWO. So do I see any more nouns here? Here we have purposes as a noun. Something has 2 purposes. So if you're annotating, use the green color. When you use green on your paper, you can see how ugly it looks. But anyway, look at here. Here's another noun. 2 friends. Someone has 2 friends. Anything else that has TWO? This is a little different, but here I'm going to give you 2 the rewards that you each deserve. This might be a little advanced for your 4th grader, but for a 5th grader, they're learning that this word goes with the number. You 2, the awards. I'm going to give you each a reward. I'm going to give you 2 the rewards. I'm going to give you 2 each the reward you deserve. So that could be a little trickier, but anyway, any more nouns? Oh, look down here. Is it too much to want her to be single and pretty? To want. There we have our verb. To want. So let's put TO in there. Are there any nouns on the next page? We have 2 kids. And we have too late in class, too must. Nope. So what the kids are struggling, how they're struggling in comprehension is they're not understanding why sentences use different words and how to select the correct word to get the meaning. So comprehension is built into reading and it's built into the worksheets. So let me talk to you about the word TOO. TOO, too much or also, all right? So here we have our story. We're going to jump down to line 2. Sentence 2. Jane wanted to get some popcorn and candy too. I'm going to use red because I don't have a red pen, but 2 also. And then number 3. It was too hot. That's too much, right? So it was too hot to cook that day, and it was too hot to eat soup. So number 4, Joe didn't want to get there too soon. So look at the words that are requiring the word to, TOO, soon, hot. So we have time, temperature, time and temperature, and then adding something which would be also. So too much heat, too much time, too much heat again. Okay, so time and temperature. These are the grammar tricks that kids have to learn. There's tricks to knowing how to spell our English words. So, and which ones to use. Here we go. Number 5. It is tricky to see that the word to has 2 purposes. Well, it could be any one of them, actually. So let's just, for the sake of using our adverb, because or TO is an adverb or it's infinitive. Let's just pick that one. even though I already showed you that TOO could mean also, or it could be too much, and TWO could be time, or it could be quantity. So isn't that fun? I think that's really fun. And the kids do have fun with this. So number 6, my mom agreed to help us too, as long as 2 friends joined us. So if your child has trouble with that, what if we said, Dad's going to help us, brother's going to help us, my mom agreed to help us too. That would be also. Alrighty? So also, as long as my 2 friends joined us. Number 7, Jane hurried to the stage. That's your adverb. To give her friend a drink. Maybe her friend was speaking and her friend was very parched in her throat, so she hurried to the stage to give her friend a drink. So now we've completed number 8, jump to number 9. We danced and waved our arms to the song Hokey Pokey. Here's your adverb. Number 10. Is it too much to want her to be single and pretty too? Have you ever heard a guy ask that? Is it too much? So let's put TOO. So the word much is an indicator of the TOO. Too much to want her to be single and pretty too? I love that sentence. And then I just have 3 more. So she tried to teach 2 kids to speak. There's your infinitive. Let's put the blue line. Sometimes you miss them, and that's all right. To speak and smile also, or too, because you want to speak and smile. Number 12. He's too late. Time. TOO. He's too late. So he missed a good parking space and had to give up his seat in class too. Class also. You see that? Make it a little bit neater. So he's too late. He had to give up his parking space and his seat in class too. And the last one, she too must keep watering her plants for them to grow. So that might not sound smooth enough, but what if we said, he's watering his plants, she's watering her plants, he's fertilizing and watering, so she too must water her plants. That means also. And that's going to depend on the context of the sentence the child's reading. So there's your example of that. So now I want to show you the next day. I would do this. Have these written out on index cards. 2, 2, and 2. And then read your story to the child. She went to the theater to get, here we go again, 2 tickets. Jane wanted to get some popcorn and candy too. It was too hot, here we go again, to cook that day, and it was too hot to eat soup. Joe didn't want to get there too soon, so he didn't have to hurry either. It is tricky to see that the word to has 2 purposes. My mom agreed to help us too, as long as my 2 friends joined us. Jane hurried to the stage to give her friend a drink. Pam and Martha, I am happy to give you too the rewards you each deserve. We danced and waved our arms to the song, Hokey Pokey. Is it too much to want her to be rich and pretty too. All right, last page. Since I tried, she tried to teach the two kids to speak and smile too. He's too late, so he missed a good parking space and had to give up his seat in class too. She too must keep watering her plants for them to grow. Okay, so you have a lot of multisensory opportunities to have your child learn this. So thanks for joining me. Remember, you want colored markers, colored pens, you want printouts, change it up and let the student annotate. Have these written out on some index cards. And now the child can also hold them up if you're doing this on Zoom. You know, if you want to get off your document camera, have them hold it up. That would be nice as well. So thank you for joining. And if you haven't already subscribed or liked, will you do that right now? And that way more people will realize this is a great lesson for them to learn. And until I see you next week, thanks for joining. And if you haven't considered making a donation to keep these trainings going on, we are a nonprofit, so I would appreciate any donation would help. And my curriculum is available for purchase. Go to my website, dyslexia-solutions.com, and just go into our packages. Bye-bye now.